Hey, this is Dr. Rick with Dairy Tech. Today I want to walk you through an electrical upgrade of your Milkworks Gold model pasteurizer. It's the pasteurizer that you've bought for using the perfect udder bags for pasteurizing colostrum and then also thawing them out to feed them. We've put together a kit of electrical snubbers that are little capacitor resistor packets that will help protect the equipment from electrical surges in your barn. If a large compressor or large motor kicks on, sends an impulse through the system, there's some potential to damage the delicate electronics inside. So we put together an upgrade to help hopefully prolong the life of your equipment. So let's jump right in. The first thing I want you to do is unplug the machine. Safety first, don't get electrocuted. Unplug the machine before we start to do anything and remove any of the panels. What you have received in the mail are these 5 components. So we've basically little crab snubbers, we call them, and there's 3 of those, and then a small diode that we've already wired all this up for you to make it very simple for you to install. And I'll show you where each of these go. You've also received a mechanical relay which will replace the solid state relay in the machine. Again, the mechanical relay a little more robust, able to handle electrical pulses and do a better job for you and get you the same performance. So we'll jump right in. The equipment you're going to need, very simple. A couple of screwdrivers. Get a little stubby Phillips screwdriver. You'll need a 1/4-inch nut driver, a regular flat-headed screwdriver, wire cutters or wire strippers may have a cutter right on them for you. I've got a different set of wire strippers here that I'm going to use. So we'll jump right in. We'll start at the front panel. We're going to add 2 of the snubbers to the control. So just remove, I've already removed most of the screws to save time in the video, and remove all of the screws, and then carefully you just remove that small fold in the top of this side panel out. Now remember, you got a fan connected to the back of this by wire, so just gently set this to the side in the front of the machine. Put it down out of your way. Now this is what we're after. This is the back of the control as you can see it inside the machine here. So I wanted to have it out here so that I can show you exactly where we're making the connections so that it's very simple for you once you get inside. At pin 13 and 14 we have a red wire and a black wire. We're going to loosen these screws. Don't remove the wires. If they fall off, just make sure you put them back on the same screw. And then we're going to take this smallest snubber, this little blue M&M snubber, and we're going to put it right underneath those same 2 screw tabs. So red wire, black wire, stack this blue snubber on top of those and tighten them back down. That's all there is for the installation of that one. Then we've also got the diode, and you're going to notice when you look up here in the back of your control that you've got an orange wire coming here to this screw and a yellow wire comes all the way down to the bottom to this screw. Again, loosen that orange wire, don't remove it, slide this in and stack it with it under the screw, and then we're going to tighten it back down. Now don't over tighten these. These are special gold plated screws for specific resistance in the control. So just tighten it down firmly, make sure that your wires don't pull back out and jiggle free, but you don't have to over tighten it. And after we put that in place, then we'll just bring the wire around to where it connects down here on the yellow. And again, we're just matching up colors, right? Yellow with yellow, orange with orange. Now I'm going to show you inside here what you're actually after. To get a little better access to the control, you'll see there's some black fingers that hold the control inside. And if I grab it from the front, I can pull it out. So I'm going to loosen gently with my screwdriver and just loosen up those black tabs. And you'll see what I mean when you get inside here. I know it's really hard to see that on the video. And there's 2 around the other side as well. Okay, and I'm getting those off on the other side, and I've got a couple more ratchets to do here. Okay, once more on the back. Okay, so I've got those loose, and once those teeth are loose, what that allows you to do is push the control out a little bit. Now you're not going to be able to go very far because all these wires are connected to it, but that allows you to turn it towards you a little bit. So I've got about a 25-degree turn now I can do to it, and that gives me just enough room to go ahead with your stubby Phillips screwdriver and come in here, and you can see right here's my yellow wire. Right up top in here are my black. So I have black on top, red on the bottom, and we want to make sure we keep it the same way. So I'll loosen those, stack in that snubber, loosen the orange wire, stack in the diode wire, and that's all there is to it. Push your control back in place, slide your clips, the restraining clips back forward on it until you hear them both click down in on all four. So there we go. I heard them clicking in the back. There we go, clicking on the front. And you'll be able to grab the control by the front and see that you've got it in there firmly. And that's all we're going to do in the front. Tilt the panel back out, slide it in the receiver slot designed for it, put your screws back in. So that's it. Now we're going to go to the back of the machine, bring some of my tools with me, and same thing. Remove this back panel. I've already gone ahead and removed a bunch of the screws to make it simple. And we're just going to get this back panel off. It just slides down out from underneath the stainless steel top. Set that back panel to the side. Now the components that we're interested in inside of here is we're going to replace this solid state relay with the mechanical relay that you've been supplied with. So the first thing we want to do is remove all four wires that are attached to that solid state relay. So you'll see there's 4 screws on it that are holding wires, an orange and a yellow wire on the bottom, and then 2 black wires on the top. Go ahead and loosen that. Remove all 4 wires. There we go, those are done, and now there's 2 screws that hold the solid state relay in place, one on the very bottom that I've already taken out, and then this one on top. Get that out of there, and we want to save both of these screws. Okay, so pop those screws out so that we can reuse them, and I'll demonstrate that for you right now. So the other component that we've sent you is this mechanical relay. It's designed with a metal clip to fit right back into the same spot where we just took out that solid state relay. So go ahead and line those up. Get that screw started. There we go. Perfect. We want to push it all the way to the back. Make sure that we don't have any wires trapped behind it. And you can see that the bottom screw hole also lines up. Put the other screw in there, tighten those down, and now we've got that relay in place. I'll just finish tightening that down so that we can demonstrate the rest of this. Now the 2 wires that were connected on there for you are the orange and the yellow wires. Now they had this type of a spade connector on them, and what I did was I just snipped that off. So use your wire cutters and just snip that off right behind the spade connector, and that's what I've done on this yellow and orange wire. And then use your wire strippers and strip back 3/8 to 1/2 inch of wire. Okay, now these are stranded wires, and so after you get that stripped, twist the wires together to make it nice and firm on both of those. There we go, we've got it twisted nice. And now you'll notice on the relay that you received, it's got a connector with a yellow wire in it. Take your yellow wire, sorry, I'll get these out of your way so you can see, and then just push it in the empty slot. Firmly push it in. You can see the wire comes right inside the connector. Pull back a little bit and it's nice and snug inside there. Repeat the same steps with the orange. Push it all the way in. Pull back. Okay, I've made 2 connections. That's all there was to that. Now, you'll recall there were 2 black wires on the top of that solid state relay. Here they are. One of them comes up to a terminal strip. Follow it up there. And just go ahead and loosen that and take that wire out. You're not going to need it. Bring with you the longer wire that's connected to that new mechanical relay that you've been supplied with, and put it right under that same screw and tighten it back down. Now you'll notice this screw is in a collection of 4 screws that are all connected by this little jumper here. This makes all these connections the same. This is going to be important in just a minute when we install our other snubber, because what we want to do is come over here to the screw that's the farthest to the left, just loosen it. Now we're going to go ahead and grab your other little red crab clawed snubber. It's got a 47.10 on it. Put one leg right up under that same screw. I'm going to loosen that screw a bit more so I can slide it up in there with no problem, and then tighten them both down together. Same thing. Now we're going to stretch. The reason this is a wide clawed, because we're going to come all the way over here and you'll see that there are a bunch of red wires all together, and they also have the same kind of a jumper. So now we're going to loosen that first one on the left, or on the right rather. Loosen that up enough that I can slide the other claw up in there. Let's see, there we go. And I'll show you when I'm done here what this looks like. So there we go. I've got that little snubber already installed. Tighten both my screws down so you can see I'm going from red over here to the black, and we're just spanning across that. So that's the installation of that snubber. Now let me show you here this contactor. This is where we're going to make another connection in the back. And so I wanted you to show it to you out here because it's a little easier to visualize what we've got going on. We're going to make a connection. Right now we've got a black wire, the last one that was off of our solid state relay. It's going up here to this A1 position. So we need to get in here, loosen that screw, and remove that wire. Okay? This is the only terminal we're going to mess with on this contactor, is the A1 terminal. We're going to do 2 things in there. We're going to loosen it so that we can disconnect the wire that's currently there. We're going to put the new wire, the last remaining wire from the mechanical relay goes in that position of A1. And then we're going to put our remaining snubber, one leg into that. So we'll have the black wire from the mechanical relay, and one leg of this crab goes into there. And you can see, where's the other one go? Right over here to A2. A2 has a red wire in it. We're just going to loosen it, loosen that screw, slide this other leg down in it, tighten it back down with the red wire. So now I'll have black, red, and the crab crossing over with both. Okay? To get a little better access to the contactor, you'll see on the bottom here that it has a little springy release. So if I put a screwdriver in there and gently pull on it, it's a little spring release. And what that does is it allows it to come off of the bar that's connected to inside the machine. So I'll just demonstrate that. And that allows me to go ahead and release that bar. Now I can turn that whole relay out. Okay? So that's why I wanted to show you that. And now we're just going to come in here with a small Phillips screwdriver. On A1, we're going to release that remaining wire that was from our solid state relay. We're going to bring up the last wire from our mechanical relay. I'm going to go ahead and open up that screw a bit more. There we go. Right down in we go. And then I'm going to take my remaining snubber, just like I described. We're going to put that down in there with it. There we go, got that down in there, and then tighten that back up. Okay, same thing with the red wire, loosen that. Put the other crab claw down in there. There it is. Got them both in. Tighten that back down. Okay, make nice firm, tight down that screw. And now we're just going to go ahead and click our right back onto the bar that we got it from. We have now installed 2 snubbers in the back. We've put in our new mechanical relay, made 4 connections to that. We've installed our other 2 snubbers on the front control, and that's all there is to it. We're going to replace the back panel, slide it up under, line up your screw holes, replace the back panel, and you're ready to go. So I'll just put a little bit of tension on that. Very good. That was it. Thank you very much for using Dairy Tech products. If you have additional questions, please call our service department at 866-384-2697. We appreciate your business. Thanks.